and it is that time of summer where the cucumbers are ready. The cucumbers are flowing, if you will. Our garden has miraculously become a cucumber paradise. I just harvested a bunch today, and I've got a fridge full of more that my mother-in-law brought. But anyways, this brings up to a great recipe that I was able to eat earlier this summer before the cucumbers hit the season, and it's called Fire and Ice Cucumbers and Onions. And it is delicious, and so here's how we're gonna make it. As you can see, I've already cut up a little over here, but I'm gonna start by cutting. I took the ends off these cucumbers because that's sometimes where the bitterness is, and then I'm going to cut it straight down the middle with my trusty knife Sweetness, and then I'm just going to cut it like this. I have an onion that I've already put half of in there, and this is supposed to be a half of an onion, but I want to take it in half again. So I have a quarter of an onion here, and I'm going to be cutting it the same way and putting it in there. I just don't want these to be full crescents, because then when you're eating it, sometimes it's hard to get it all in your mouth. And so here we're gonna slice these up. The vegetables are cut. All right, now I'm making the liquid to add to the vegetables, and in my mixing bowl I have 1 cup of sugar. 1 cup of sugar, and in here I have 1 cup of white vinegar and 1 cup of water. I could probably use apple cider vinegar too, but I'm sticking with the original, the way I had it. And here I have a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, that's why it's called fire, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of celery salt, and I will add this in as well. And then I will take my liquid, add it in, and now I gotta mix. I'm mixing until the sugar dissolves. Now it's all mixed up, and I am going to add it to the cucumbers and onions. There we go. Now, I'm gonna let this sit for 24 hours, and then I will strain out the liquid and strain out the vegetables, and I will be ready to eat them tomorrow. Join me then. All right, it's been 24 hours, everybody, and here I have the cucumbers and the onions that have been marinating in that liquid. And what I'm gonna do, and this is the special part about this recipe. Now this is the part of the recipe that I personally didn't try, and it's kind of an experiment to me. This liquid in here, you can pour on more cucumbers and onions, and it should turn into this in 24 hours, which is perfect for this time of year where the cucumbers are just rolling off the vines. So what I'm gonna do is I have my strainer here. I have this this bowl here with all sorts of onions and cucumbers cut up. And all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pour this in. I'm gonna take the cucumbers and onions and I'm gonna put it in here. And we will eat that tonight. And then we have this over here, which I will then pour back into here. I'll pour this all back into here, and then it should be ready to go in 24 hours, and I'll see you then. Thanks. All right, I'm gonna try this first batch of cucumbers and onions, or Fire and Ice Cukes and Onions. Okay, that is exactly like I tasted it a few months ago when I first had it, except it might be a little bit worse, because when I had it the first time, we had the lovely views of the Verde Valley of Arizona. But otherwise, to be honest, it's just the same. This is not soggy. The onions aren't soggy, the cucumbers aren't soggy, and they have a cool crisp to them. And then of course, because of the brine that I put it in, there's a spicy element. It's not overpowering though. This is delicious stuff. I'm really, really curious to see what my new batch will be like tomorrow. But I like this. This is spot on. been 24 hours, and this is the second soak, as I call it, in the brine that I made for the cucumbers and onions. I used a red onion and some, once again, garden cucumbers, and now I'm gonna try it. So as you guys can see here, I have a couple cucumbers and a couple onions on this fork. Well, here's my verdict. The texture is still the same. The onions and the cucumbers have a snap to them, have a crunch to them like they did last night on the original soak. The difference I'm tasting is these are not as strong. These are not as fiery as last night's, and that makes sense. I am using the diluted water or the diluted brine from before. I would guess that if I were to put more cucumbers and more onions in the leftover brine, it would probably be even weaker tomorrow. But as for right now, this is still pretty good. It's not as strong as the original, but it's still pretty dang good. And I will keep eating it. Thanks for watching. This has been this is a great recipe. It can really help in the summer months to get rid of all those excess cucumbers you may have. And I've got to say, I want to thank the person who passed this recipe on to me. She lives in Arizona and got this recipe from a friend here in the Midwest. So whoever you are, friend in the Midwest, thank you. You have made the Geiken recipe arsenal that much better. Thanks for watching, everyone.